Rock Guys would like to welcome Lester from Moscow Noir. Hey, what's up? What's going on today?
Not too bad. Just was in the studio working on a track, and that's about it for today so far. How about yourself?
Cool. I just hanging out, do some work on the computer, and that's about it, Congratulations on your self-titled debut EP with 7 tracks. Tell me, like with the music I was listening to, it really feels like you're trying to bring back, a yesteryear type sound of, maybe the new wave era, like the Fix, Joy Division, bands like that. Is that what your goal was?
Yes, you nailed it on the head, I would say. It's definitely one of my influences that I've had growing up, and I really fell in love with those kinds of sounds. I always thought to myself when I started writing, I thought it would be pretty cool if I kind of brought that kind of flavor into like the modern sounds that there are now, and if I could find a bridge between both of them, I think it would be something interesting.
Right.
I find a lot of the new music. It's like when you listen to the '80s, there's always this kind of moodier undertone.
Right.
And it's hard to kind of hear that once again, like on the radio or yeah. It was kind of like that was kind of the process in my head.
Right. Right. I mean, do you actually? I know you're from Canada and stuff like that. Is there radio airplay still up there?
Yes, there is.
Okay, good. Not down here. You don't really. You got some internet radio here and stuff like that, but basically it's like news now and stuff like that. But internet radio is good enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I don't know. I was going to say that's pretty much everybody just listens to podcasts and internet radio mostly nowadays.
Right. Do you feel the internet is basically a big help compared to, like you talked back in the 80s? I mean, everything had to be mailed and, snail mail and cassettes and flyers and stuff like that. With the internet, it looks like it's pretty diverse. You have, a lot of outlets to take care of.
Yes, I find there's always there's a good and a bad to it. The good, I would say, is that you can get a greater exposure at a faster rate,
right?
And you can create a following pretty much quicker than before. The downside to it, I find, is that it's stripped away the small little pleasures of music, which were, like, let's say going to the music store and buying yourself your cassette or buying your CD, and then going home and looking through the art, the cover art, the book, the lyrics, and then listening to the song. Like, the whole experience, I find, of listening to music has been taken away, and it's more instantaneous now, which is faster and easier. But I feel like there's a whole other character to the music that has kind of been compromised because of that. So yes, it's good and bad, I would say. There's arguments for both sides.
Right. And what's your feelings towards like vinyl making a comeback?
I think it's great. I think it's fantastic.
Right.
I think it touches back on what I was just saying earlier. It's a physical way of enjoying music. Like, you have to put the record on, and it gives it a more I don't know. It gives it something else more to it, something more real, I would say.
Right. Now, Stars is the I guess debut video and stuff like that. Why'd you pick that song?
Stars, I feel like the sound that Stars has is it's bigger in sound compared to all the other tracks.
Right.
And I find that it really puts together what Moscow Noir is about right off the bat.
Right.
Which shows the mixing of electronic sounds and soundscapes with some raw guitars, and it has a little bit of the bombastic like choruses, as well as like the quieter, more reflective moments in like the breakdowns.
Uh-huh.
So I think it's a good balance of what Moscow Noir is about.
Right. Like we go back to the new wave era and stuff like that, and right now it seems like kind of like that kind of music's actually coming back with you know, the younger kids and stuff like that. Besides emo and all that other kind of music, metal is like metal, you know. But I mean, like you know, your music is a little diverse, and you know, it's like, I guess people will have to get used to it again, but it is good for soundtrack music and stuff like that. And once people catch on, you know, you could get the beat to it. You feel the same way?
Yeah. Yes, I completely agree. I know it's something that you'd have to get readjusted to again, but right. I think that's another cool side to bring back of music, because I mean, there's so many aspects of music and sounds that you can enjoy that I think this is a nice new facet to bring back. Right. And appreciate.
Right. It also is like you know, atmospheric type music where you could sit back and like think a lot. You know, you know, it's not like, you know, metal, you got your fist pumped and stuff like that, but your music can give you a ride in with your mind. You know? Yes, that is exactly what I'm hoping it does. It affects. Right. Tell me a little bit about a song I heard. It's called "Faded" in 2013.
Yes, I think that was that a trance song? No.
Yes.
Yes, Faded was pretty much when I started kind of learning how to create electronic sounds and learning how to produce electronic music. I was exploring a lot of different genres, and one genre I really liked was trance, because of what you just said. Actually, was trance is one of those songs where it puts you in a state of where you can travel, like, in your mind, and it takes you to different places by just sound, right? And right. I guess that's why they call it trance, because it puts you in a trance. Right. So I felt that, you know, when I worked on that song, I always thought of, you know, it would be interesting to dive into that genre and even write some lyrics or sing to it. Right. And so me and my producer friend of mine, we played around with that song. We developed it, and it did pretty well. So I think that was one of the history into Moscow Noir, because I tried to bring kind of that mood into it, right, without it being trance. Right. So, right. Yeah.
Also had a song in 2016 called "Burn It Down," Night Vision. Yes. Can you tell me anything about that song?
Yeah. So because of the exploration I love in electronic music, I also deep house is another genre that I really like, and I like drawing influence from. So this is one track with another local producers called Night Vision. They're like a duo deep house act. Right. And they called me up. They heard a couple of stuff I've been working on, and they hired me to do writing for the track and collaborate with them. So we collaborated on that together, and that was Burn It Down. Yeah. Cool. Can
you tell me anything about the band, each member?
Yes. So the bass player is my younger brother. Pretty much since I started writing songs years ago, or I'd tell him to come over, and I'd initially play out the rough bass line, and then my brother, being, a trained bassist, he'd take it over, and he would really, really flesh it out. Right. So I've been working with my brother since I started writing. The drummer is a good friend of mine, Steve, who I met about 11 years ago. Uh-huh. And he's always played in other bands. Once I started working on my project, he really got interested into it. And he always said to me, whenever you have anything concrete, he's like, I'll play with you. So he was a really good supporter of like my initial ideas and thoughts. And once everything came about, he hopped on board. Right. After that, I had two friends, two people that I met through the music scene here in Toronto that ended up becoming the guitarist and the keyboard player to the band. So in our very first incarnations of Moscow Noir, they helped play a couple of live shows that we did. Right. Unfortunately, they got snatched up by another band. So that offered touring and all that, and so I couldn't compete with that because I was just beginning. Right. So I lost those two guys, and ever since then I've been trying to find replacements, which I found in the spring. And it's been working out pretty well. We've did our couple of shows, and they did really well. So his name is Mike Formusa, is the new guitarist, lead guitarist.
Right.
And Richard Gillespie is the keyboardist.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, a live show. Do you plan on touring just in Canada, or you plan on coming to the United States or wherever?
Yes, I mean the whole goal is to be able to tour in the States. We've played shows here in Toronto, and what we're really concentrating more right now is just on the full length album coming up.
Right.
And been working on a couple of doing like some live filming sessions where they film some of the songs being played live, and I think it's pretty much just trying to build more recognition for us.
Right.
Is the goal at the moment. So we'll be playing local shows, but I think once spring comes in is when we're going to start playing in the States and other places.
Right. Now, when you were younger, what did you listen to?
When I was younger, I went through stages. Throughout my high school, I was into hip hop, R&B, a little bit of rock. Once I got into my college is when I really got into rock music, and that pretty much took over from Radiohead to there's just so many: Radiohead, Depeche Mode, The Cure, Interpol, Metallica. Like, it's just, there's a vast range. I just love every kind of sound that rock could offer, because it always gave me something different. And once I think towards the end of the college years and I started working was when I really got into electronic music, and I discovered the experimental sounds of like Apparat, Mode Selector, to name a few, and they really explored electronic music, but in a complete different way. Like, it wasn't like a song structure. It was just more aimed at being and just like an experience of like this electronic journey with no hook or whatever. So those were the later influences that I had, and then by this point I kind of ended up just listening to as much as anything that can give a different sound, whether it can be textures or it can be, like a pad or anything that is interesting. So I would say now my palette for music is all over the place now.
Right. Well, Lester, Moscow Noir, congratulations once again, and it was great talking to you. Would you like to say anything to the fans and public out there?
Thank you very much for having me. Really, really appreciate it. I would say check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We got some new material coming out, and we really hope that you guys enjoy what you hear, and we look forward to bringing out the next part of Moscow Noir.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.